Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 703 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Malta, and I am joined today by Rob Rosemoon.
Hello.
Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Gentlemen, it's been so long that we haven't even talked about the Miss Marvel trailer.
Yes. Gosh. It was a trailer.
I have a hard time caring about this one. Looks good.
Well, my problem, so I watched the trailer, and the thing is, the trailers are usually very well executed at the old Mouse House, right?
Yep.
And I was watching it, and they sort of started with like a Scott Pilgrim fun, motion graphics vibe, which is
Sure,
fun,
go
right?
for
I can
it.
like that. But they didn't commit.
Mm.
They did not commit. They didn't do it the whole time.
Well, my other wonder about that.
They wanted to turn it into fucking Degrassi or something.
Do you remember the Bebop trailer that was like edited so
great.
awesome? And then
Yeah,
the show was edited with a different vibe to it. Than it's like, is this a stylistic thing that they're going to carry through the show? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll watch.
And apparently, she has a 5 ring style bracelets.
Yeah, that I don't so much care for.
So I'll admit that I haven't watched this trailer, but I have read that there's a whole lot of backlash because Miss Marvel's powers she's a stretchy.
Yep.
Right. She's more like plastic.
She's a Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah. You can't do Reed Richards and survive. You know my opinion.
And according to everything I've read, they make her powers more like Captain Marvel in this.
Yeah.
As well. So yeah. I don't know.
We got like a couple of shots of what her powers look like.
She had big fists.
Yep.
And
that's her normal deal, but normally her big fists don't have glowy. They just are big fists.
Yeah, there's a lot of glowy powers.
The good thing, though, is that for whatever show comes after Miss Marvel, they're going to be able to advertise that directly in the Windows 11 File Explorer. So the story there was that they accidentally turned on some bit in people's live Windows 11 and were just getting ads all over the operating system, barfed all over the OS.
Because that's what people want when they're looking for their downloaded file, an advertisement.
I run an ad blocker on my home network, and when it's off, I can't believe how many things have ads in them now. Like, it's embarrassing.
So I don't run an ad blocker. I mean, I work for an ad company, right? So I sort of feel bad if I ran an ad blocker, a little hypocritical. Because,
dog food.
Yeah. And so, but at the same time, when I've sort of gone the other way, where I don't go to a lot of websites that give me bad experiences. So like if I see a link to certain sites, I'm like, I'm not following that damn thing.
That's hard if you're you use Reddit. It's hard because
Reddit just intersperses promoted and
you
stories.
Encounter sources, 50 different sources in a day, and a third of those sources are garbage for ads.
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't follow the links,
What? Are you basing your entire impression based on headlines?
Yeah, that's what Twitter is. That's what Reddit is. That's what Slashdot was. I mean, come on, you know the numbers.
No way.
So
everybody
for
read
instance,
the article.
I don't have a problem with a list, although I think it's saying that I have bad breath, and I'm like, that's kind of a jerk move. But there's not a lot of ads here. There's the Bonvoy ad saying, "Please God, start traveling again."
That one's not so bad, but I tell you, man, the one that makes me the angriest, I can deal with all of that kind of stuff. The stuff that makes me the angriest is when it's a sponsored link, but it doesn't
it's not clear
sufficiently. Like they put a little tiny sponsored in a tiny font, and it's a light gray on white. And I'm telling you, man, fuck you. That's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. And it's making the world worse. And that makes me mad. I fought against that every freaking month for 14 years. And it still sticks in my craw when I see it because it's wrong. And it makes me angry.
So that doesn't actually make me that angry. I've come to expect it, and I have a good critical eye, I think. What makes me upset is when you have something like this, it's like, oh, it's a viral video about this truck getting tossed around by the tornado. If this turned into a Ford ad, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I'd be like, and I'd feel a little betrayed at that point. I'd be like, oh, look at this. This is Holy Crow. This truck is getting tossed around like a plaything by nature. and then it's like boom, Ford tough.
I'm pretty
I
stunned.
hate when I fall for stuff. I'm a sap. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
When I every now and then you have to like go into the deep features of like I have many iOS devices in my house
Yeah.
and I have to crawl through the features, and the amount of ads buried in them to upgrade, at least in that context, you're only upgrading to the Apple services. But the idea that for me to look in my downloads folder that I'm gonna get recommended
It's
ads,
offensive.
it's the only ads that are gonna make me angrier than that are the ones at the gas station.
It's Microsoft forgetting whose computer it is. Very simply.
And I mean, it's the way of things. It's how it's got to go, because everybody's got to make that chart go up and to the right. And
product management.
let's
I mean,
damn humanity.
If the ads at the gas station make you mad, wait until they're in every grocery store.
Yeah,
because that's the next thing, right?
Yeah, no, it's it's amazing. Like you're gonna need AR goggles that you wear all the time, just as a noise blocker around you. It's getting so bad, and it's hard.
You see people wearing the ear pods and the IEMs, right?
Yeah,
and I think a lot of that is what he's in the waiting room. Oh, really?
Cliff?
Yeah. Oh, not like waiting for the call.
Well, anyway, we had talked about the next story actually a couple of times in the past, but there was a Zelensky deepfake making the round, which was an utterly unconvincing deepfake.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very unconvincing.
Very unconvincing. But this is what we were talking about. Didn't we had a bet going, right? That sometime in some number of years that something would substantially swing an election.
No, we've talked about it. Well, it wasn't a bet because we all knew that it would happen.
Well, and the question I think that we've always had, or that I have at least, is this something that happens in the midterms, in the next presidential election? Has it happened already and we're unaware of it? But this was a crappy attempt. But these attempts only get better over time, and once you scale.
Well, I think it's irrefutable that it's going to happen. What's more interesting to me is to see the amount of people who, when presented with irrefutable evidence that this is fake, will still believe that it's true.
Well, if you are presented with something that you're prone to believe, it's like 10 times more likely to get you to believe the other thing once you've seen visuals like this. It's crazy. There's all these weird studies about this. If you tend to believe it, you're gonna believe it, and you're not gonna believe the fraud even when it's laid in front of you. It's pretty terrifying.
There's Cliff.
There's Cliff.
Great. Okay, cool.
He wants to talk about Miss Marvel, even though he's wearing a Superman shirt.
Are you wearing a Superman shirt?
Of course I'm wearing a Superman shirt. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. It's Superman Day.
Well, every day is Superman Day for Cliff.
Oh,
yeah.
Because of
it just so happens to be Tuesday.
So did you watch the trailer, Cliff, and what did you think?
Of Ms. Marvel?
Yes.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer. There's a lot to like. I think they got the tone of Kamala Khan really well. And I guess I get why they changed the powers, but I don't like that they changed the powers as much as they did.
Yeah.
I'll also be interested to see how they build in, or if they just drop any Inhuman connection.
Yeah, it looks like they're what's an Inhuman?
Whatever. We only had seasons of multiple shows making use of it. No, I think you're right.
Glowy hands. I know glowy hands show up better on screen and all that stuff, and there's reasons to do it. But
they showed the bracelet thing, and I was like, oh, that's not. Anyone who has good luck on QVC
from a bracelet now.
Yeah, maybe that's just like a dodge.
Look, I'm willing to benefit of the doubt all of that, because you can have a lot of flexibility with these things and still maintain true to the essence of the character. But I don't know enough about this character to know what her core essence is.
I mean,
no,
I
you
love
cannot.
a good plucky underdog.
Rob Malda.
So you think that Tobey Maguire having Spider-Man webs that shoot out of his wrist makes that a not Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Yes.
even when I first watched that as a kid,
Sure.
like, that pulled me out of the movie. I'm like, "That's not how Spider-Man shoots his webs. This is junk."
Yeah,
Yes,
this
because
is glue expectorant man.
because
This is not
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
has his powers, but he's also a scientist.
That's right.
He's also a genius, which the web shooters show.
Exact.
Sure. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I think that you can get to the same general point and be okay.
Well,
Uh,
and it's worth pointing out, like with the modern day Spider-Man. Sorry, I just have to digress. I really want to hear Cliff's thoughts on this. With the modern day Spider-Man, right? I felt that having Tony Stark do so much of his suit and his shooters
yeah, it nerfed him.
and his technology, it kind of sucked. You know, I was like, let Spider-Man be Spider-Man. Why does he have to be? Why does he have to be Iron Man? You know, it's like
And there's the T-shirt. Let Spider-Man be Spider-Man.
let Spider-Man
right.
be.
Also, if Toby really is gonna produce actual web fluid, it should be through spinnerets
Yeah.
on his next to his anus.
Why don't they have an ovipositor?
Right.
You know,
Well, because he's not laying eggs.
That's what happens in my deepfake version of all those movies.
they've got faceted eyes and
Spider-Man's shooting eggs out of his
Antenna.
butthole and laying eggs.
antenna.
I mean, it could be just a matter of thresholds, right? Like, how far can you move away from a character's inception
Where
or
it's
kind
a
of
different
stock
character.
set of parts? Because all
fine.
comic book writers also
Right.
constantly mess with
Yeah.
this too, right?
I
How
mean,
many?
What
Nothing's
if
old.
Spider-Man was just a giant spider, but hands at the end of each leg? You know?
Yeah, it was
There.
more spider than man.
Yeah. Because
And the
Spider-Man
way-
is really mostly man.
And
There's almost
if he had
nothing
gotten,
about him that's spider.
and if he had gotten his PhD, he could be Doctor.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no,
No,
that's different.
different thing.
But in comic books, the way they typically deal with those kinds of differences and playing around with character are through non-canonical stories.
Sure, you're
right?
wearing
Usually what
Superman,
ifs, but-
Red Sun, stuff like that. You can tell a communist Superman. You can do that. And I guess I never had a problem with that. But no, I get what you're saying, but I also think that they're trying to create whatever they think is consistency for their universe, and if their universe doesn't have Terrigen Mist or whatever, then figure out a way around it. These obstacles make for interesting stories.
Mm-hmm.
It does have Terrigen
Yeah,
Mist.
because Miss Marvel was Terrigen Mist.
Oh wait, I guess
Right?
they retro said that Agents of Shield was not canon.
It's
right?
not canon.
Right. So Agents of Shield's use of Terrigen and introduction of Terrigen into the water stream is not canon.
And
but
the Inhumans, the
in
entire
Humans-
series is not
Inhumans
canon.
canon or not?
I don't think that's
I
canon.
mean, not just for the MCU, but also for my love. It's not canon.
Yeah, because it might be the worst thing that Marvel has on TV.
It's so bad.
It's really bad. I watched the whole damn thing too.
Me too.
It's a train wreck. All right. Well, let's see. U.S. Copyright
I'm
Office.
sure.
Oh, go ahead, Carlos.
Sure, it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be great.
I have mixed feelings, but I liked Hawkeye.
I hope it's
so
I hope it's as good as Shang-Chi. I hope
Ooh.
it's as good.
I'd like it to be better than
there
the
was
third
something to
act
be-
of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I mean, but there were some
Well, I mean,
redeemable things in Shang-Chi.
What did you expect to happen in the third act of Shang-Chi? Let's be realistic. All of these movies
Yeah.
have to
Gotta have a
some
dragon glow
nonsense,
fight.
monster, stupid fight like the Hobbit river scene, right?
Yep.
Because that's what every big company has decided that is what people want. They want nonsense.
Lucas had a quote that he said something to the effect of, he said, the middle of your movie doesn't matter. All that matters is like the first 5 or 10 minutes and then the last 5 or 10 minutes. So if you get people excited at the beginning and at the end, they like your movie.
Well, so this is
I
the
would have liked the
colonoscopy
third act
school
of
of
Shang-Chi
judging.
to be a montage of all the family therapy that they had to go through to try to recover some sense of normalcy after their mom died, and just the years and years of painful work addressing their trauma.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's an exciting third act that really wants me to. You know what though? That's what a Disney Plus show can do. It can give you 6 episodes
Yeah.
of therapy.
Yeah.
But that said,
That was, actually, this is the problem with Jessica Jones. I really liked Jessica Jones season 1. It was really good. 2 on, I'm like, really? there's a lot of talking. Can we get some more Jessica Jonesing? You know?
I think that this is the thing that that they kind of get wrong with a lot of these shows. You've got your emotional core and then a plot, and there's like a needle waving
And you
between
gotta
the two.
balance.
You got to
it,
balance that needle, and some producers are all like, and actors too. Probably they probably really enjoy like the let's get into our feelings stuff. It's like, well, I want a plot, I want a story, you know, and you got to strike that balance.
Yeah.
So I guess for me, I don't care if Miss Marvel gets her magical powers
Well,
from rings.
I don't think that's what Miss Marvel wants to be. I think Miss Marvel is more like, and I hate to put it this way, it's not a Disney Plus show. It's a Disney Channel show. It's a YA.
Oh, that's an interesting
MCU take, right? So I think this is them merging their, you know, Hannah Montana slash, you know, Degrassi sort of YA tween population and booting them up into, you know, superheroes at a young age. This is my theory. Right.
Well, they've
I might
already
have it.
got like all the Young Avengers or whatever lined up. So
Right. So I think
uh,
that this is them saying, hey, you know, if Disney Plus is going to take all those Disney Channel kids over, we got to do this. And it's like, well, all right. Sure. You know, High School Musical for in the MCU. Okay, sure.
well,
Maybe it's all one shared universe.
the Disney universe.
Yeah. Hannah Montana is actually a shapeshifter.
That's
Yeah.
how nobody ever figured out that she was the same
Exactly.
girl for all those seasons of that show.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was it.
I mean, this all
Sometimes
checks
she's
out.
a singer, and sometimes she's a microphone.
Just like Transformers.
Yeah.
All right, the U.S. Copyright Office, they are not going to be taking applications if the algorithms are generated by AIs.
But for instance, suppose Mr. Lampy, Dr. Lampy, excuse me, has put together a generative AI to create some artwork of the rest. If Dr. Lampy's name is on it, they'll approve it.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a fancy headline that when you drive down, you're like, well, you know,
You know,
AI
I
thinks
also, when I have a painting copyrighted, do not make my brush an author.
yeah, exactly.
It's
It's
true.
a tool. My screwdriver.
But the flip side to this is, and this isn't, I guess, well, this is the Copyright Office. That was the guy who generated every combination of every note that could be composed, and then tried to copyright them all.
Yeah.
Why can't
There's been people who do this.
why can't you do that?
It's not sufficiently unique.
I
Okay,
mean,
boom.
why is any sequence of notes sufficiently unique?
Well, and when does a sequence of notes just become so widespread that it's truly a matter for all society, like Pachelbel's canon?
Why is the
We've all
copyright?
seen it right
Why
now,
do copyright people get to decide it? Their job is just to say that sequence of notes is yours now. Nobody else can ever have that sequence of notes, so that 5 years later somebody can sue you
That's
for a
not
song.
the function of the
I mean,
USPTO.
that's how it works. Not
Yes,
this is the
that's
Copyright
not-
Office. The
I
article's
think
about
what
the
we're understand-
copyright.
That's not the function of copyright.
Yeah, I think what we're finding out here is a fundamental misunderstanding about
Copyright,
and the
trademark, and
Copyright Office.
patent. Yeah. And I
Well, not even that. I think like when you look at copyright litigation, it's often about, it can't just be a thing was created a lot of times, right? Especially when it comes to contention, it has to be that there's some value to the thing that's created. So
that's not true. You don't have to create. You don't have to have value to have. There are millions of old things rolling around that are valueless.
well, to you, right? Or like
Well, how are you measuring value? I mean, money or just
that's the problem. And
being
that's why
able
it
to
gets
print out
litigated
your
all the
own
time.
thing and hang it on the wall and say that's mine. That's value.
Well, I think hearkening back to the story we did a little while back about, you know, Sherlock with a heroin habit or Sherlock with a kind sister is not the same as the Sherlock with Watson, you know, and there's some that you can do and some you can't, you know. Like if you mention the Hounds of the Baskervilles, or whatever,
Baskervilles.
you know, then you're firmly within the Sherlock estate.
Well,
Right.
and to be precise, Sherlock did cocaine, not heroin. Grit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cocaine.
It's
I'm
the
not
difference
up
between
on
the
my-
copyright interest in industry and the patent industry, man. You got to keep it.
Well,
straight.
no, you laugh. If you create a Sherlock that's a heroin addict, totally different.
Totally different.
Yes.
You know? And if you create
It
Sherlock,
just rhymes.
if your Sherlock Holmes origin story involves Terrigen Mist, you're right out.
Well, you're not canon then.
For sure.
You're not film canon. You're book.
Take it to AO3.
Ouch. All right, so here's another one. We got a few that are
Okay, I find this Russia faces IT crisis story to be the stupidest one.
Yeah, it
that's
seemed
gone
pretty silly.
out about the war.
It seems
Like,
pretty
no,
silly.
that's not true.
I mean,
You know,
who knows, right? Like whatever cloud provider has however much data storage they have available. I do kind of like the idea though that that's a resource that you run out of, and we talk about grain and we talk about bullets, but I do like the idea that they just don't have enough disks.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like a streaming pile of traffic analysis going on all the time in Russia, looking for people who don't said, I don't like Putin or whatever. But lose a couple of logs, they'll be fine,
In the great data storage siege of 2079, they
That's
threw the
right.
heads of blockchains over the walls at their enemies.
So I'm going to say something that probably will betray my feelings on a
Uh-oh.
certain thing. I think this is nerds taking themselves too seriously.
Ah, that
Like,
could
get
be.
over yourselves. There's a real war going on. Shut the fuck up about hard drives for like 5 seconds. Like when somebody tries to like bring blockchain into the Ukraine invasion by Russia, I'm like, will you stop with the blockchain for like 5 seconds? People are dying. It's anyway. Sorry.
Don't hold back,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. If they just pull back on their Bitcoin mining for 4 minutes, they get all their hard drive space back. Oh no, proof of stake, proof of work. Fuck you. All right, sorry. Hi.
Hey, don't hold back, man. Let's see. The JWST they posted their first focused picture.
Well, it's funny they say that, but it's like through a starlight filter, right?
I mean, I don't know how they.
This
they
isn't focus. This
I
is
mean-
through those things you get at the planetarium.
And that's how we discovered space's butthole.
Yep. It's shooting spider webs right at me.
We call this the asterisk cluster.
Yep, the spider webs are going to take 17.3 billion years to get here.
No. Yeah. Until now, it was just a theory that the universe had a butthole. And now we have visual evidence.
A $10 billion instrument has finally given the universe the colonoscopy it needs.
Mhm.
Actually, I love this instrument. I'm really looking forward to when it actually achieves focus. But NASA's got their calendar. They're like, oh, it's time for the near perfect focus story.
Yep.
Oh, it's time for the we're in the right spot story.
Oh, hold on. We got a week off. Let's post another story about how Voyager has transited some other arbitrary
exactly.
space that we haven't discussed in the last 6 months.
Yeah. There's going to be a story. JWST sees something that no other thing has ever been able to see ever in the history of optics. And then, images, photons older than the universe itself, almost. So that's going to be like one of their fillers.
Sure. They got. It's important to have a press calendar.
But it is. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a beef. I
You
love
don't have a
NASA now.
beef with a telescope sharing a picture? Wow, that's generous of you.
I think that's no, I don't have a beef with the NASA comms army, trying to make hay out of every little thing that NASA does in space. That's great. I think it's awesome. Keep it up, boys.
You got to post every day.
Yep.
Got to post every day.
Maximize
Creativity on demand,
engagement.
because, their social media
They
manager
probably get more follows if they follow that up with like that's actually the pupil of Galactus's eye or something. And
Yeah.
holy shit,
Yeah.
Galactus is real. And
do a crossover with
make your
with
peace.
the MCU.
Yeah,
I mean, we've both
that's how you
decided.
get follows.
We've both decided that that's the universe's anus, and it's shooting spider webs at us. So, I mean, that could
Is
be
it already
anything.
part of the MCU?
Yes, that.
It's a celestial.
That's right. It's here to pop out of the earth and ruin the last third of Eternals. All right, so the ESA has voted to suspend the Roscosmos partnerships, unsurprisingly.
Well, I mean, the Roscosmos lead Derzhogan is kind of a prick.
Was he the one that was beefing
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Kelly? Yeah.
Yeah, and then this happened. Wow.
Well, okay, I
Holy
read
crap,
another
they ain't going
theory
home
about this.
for a while. Let's just say.
So for the podcast, it's the photo of the Russian cosmonauts popping out on the ISS, but all wearing yellow jumpsuits for some reason. So here's the theory that I heard. There was like a week ago, Putin had a big like stadium tour, and that had been scheduled way in advance.
Oh.
And so the theory was that this is the logical conclusion or the logical extension, that Putin thought this was going to take about an hour and a half. And he would be able to have his big stadium tour and then celebrate
The new state.
the new state. So this was like something that somebody kind of botched up. That was the theory that I heard, because
That makes a lot more
these
sense.
guys can't have just like
decided to
that.
defect. You know? It's like, so
when I
can we
first saw this
reprogram the
picture,
Soyuz
I
to
thought-
land in Iowa? You know?
When I first saw this picture, I just thought, oh, their jumpsuits are yellow. I didn't think like they'd be making some kind of statement or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
like
it
it's not a
seemed like a
blue
lot.
there that makes me think like, oh, they're
It seemed like a reach.
yeah.
All right, let's see. We've got about 7 stories posted in a row that Hugh Grant may or may not, or definitely is not the
Isn't.
next Doctor Who.
Might be. Could be.
The discussion in my house was first from the lady member of my house. Can't be worse than the lady doctor. Hates him because apparently he had some sex scandals back in the day. And
It was a prostitute.
One
Yeah.
sex scandal. He got a blowy from a
And
prostitute.
the scandal was he had sex with, wasn't she a transsexual prostitute too? I think, or something.
Maybe.
Yeah,
No,
He was not.
it was no, that was
oh, that was Eddie Murphy.
that was Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
mm,
No, it was he had a thing with a prostitute, and then he
Mhm.
ended up breaking up with the good-looking actor person.
so apparently that holds some power over
I don't know.
the other
His
Doctor Who
last
fan in my house.
role, he was the murderer guy. You know, I'm like, Hugh Grant's trying to go dark. You know, it's like I can't picture him becoming the Doctor.
I
know?
think he
For the
could do
record,
it.
I think he'd do a fine job
he'd
as
be
a
awesome.
Doctor Who.
Well, so I'm gonna be the dissenting voice, maybe the lone dissenting voice. I think he'd be a terrible Doctor, and I'm gonna say this because I loved the In the Thick of It guy in everything but Doctor Who.
Alan Thicke.
No. Oh, crap. why can't
Yeah,
I-
I think Hugh Grant at a core is too pompous to be a good doctor. I'm with you.
No, I mean there can be a pompous, aristocratic, stuttery
Not-
doctor.
Not Hugh
But-
Grant style pompous
He's
my
charmingly befuddled.
He's charmingly befuddled. Peter Capaldi. So Peter Capaldi in everything but Doctor Who is freaking incredible. Like insane. So much fun. And then he got on Doctor Who, and it was basically like a season and a half old man jokes.
He was
God,
too angry.
suck. Well, no, but he wasn't angry enough, or he was too. It's like they could never hit the thing. Yeah, and Ambley was like, I think Hugh Grant's too famous to be the Doctor. Probably, sure,
Yeah. That said, I think in a
fit.
I think in a vacuum, I think he could nail it. But it doesn't matter who the Doctor is. Ultimately, they got to write some damn stories.
I don't know. It'd be Peter Davidson level at most,
They got to write some stories. Write us a good story. That's
Well, this is Russell Davies coming back.
yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm
So-
saying.
I don't know. I'm just tired of Daleks, man. I'm tired of Cybermen. Move on. New things.
They should get that Hermione girl. People like her. She should be the
Yeah,
next Doctor.
there you go. The one who looks like Richard Dawkins.
The Emma Watson Doctor.
Why not? Sure.
All right, I'll watch it.
And honestly, her film career is pretty stagnant.
The thing
Yeah.
about Emma Watson, though, is that if you have her addicted to heroin, then you aren't allowed to
First
use her.
addicted
You
doctor.
violate the copyright of Sherlock, or inside the patents on Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
There we go. I tied them all back in.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Rob, you shared us with this story about the cave paintings.
I did, because this story actually tickled me. It brought me back to high school, my AP English class, which I had with Mr. Cliff Lampy there.
Really?
So yeah, so
Guys were probably very cute. kids.
I can't remember exactly what the short story or poem was that we had read, but we read it, and then our teacher was like, "What does this mean?" And half the class is like, going through this big long list of how every word is symbolic and la da 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 da. And basically, he's just like, "No, this is just a poem about fishing, right?" So for the longest time, these cave paintings, the predominant theory was that they were part of some mystic practice. You know, it was shamans would go in at night on hallucinogenic mushrooms or whatever, and they would try to summon animals for the hunt and yada yada yada. There's a lot of religion, and they found like half of these are just kids' hands. So
Yeah.
I love to think that these are just parents who are sick of their kids bitching
Will
and
you go
getting
paint
in the way
the
of stuff,
wall?
and they're like, "Come on, let's go paint the wall for a while," you know.
It's like, here, take your
And
tablet.
you know,
Shut up, Dad. I'll be
something
in my
that
cave.
we have held so sacred and put, you know, so much mysticism and thought into, and it turns out that at least half of them are just kids or finger painting, basically. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty wonderful, actually. I gotta say.
Somebody shared, I don't know which of you shared, the new larger Hummer.
What?
I shared that.
That looks like a joke picture.
Doesn't it though?
It's not an actual Hummer. They're not producing that. This is a dude who builds giant versions of
Of
various cars. And
Okay,
he
this
just
website
happened,
is intolerable
he just happened to
from
make
a
a
pop-up
Hummer
perspective.
that's 20 feet tall and like 50 feet long. You have to climb up into it with stairs.
That's pretty.
That's
Have
That's
you
extraordinary.
seen much about the EV Hummer coming out?
yeah, right.
I had a guy from
that's an
GM
interesting
speak to my
pivot.
class yesterday, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
got oddly into talking about the EV Hummer and all the like stuff going into that.
Thing about the Hummers is the visibility inside was always terrible. You know, for such a big monster car, they
Well,
make it better.
luckily, these windows here are, 5 feet by 10 feet.
Right?
That's plenty of visibility.
Bigger than your
Chris.
living room windows.
Yeah.
Powered by
mean-
4 diesel engines. Practical. I love it.
There you go.
Sign me up.
Yeah, no. So, yeah.
All right, we got some video of a smuggler who got stuck smuggling out 160 CPUs.
Yeah, I came across this when I was looking up specs on something, and I was like, "Oh, this is a great story." So,
You got the picture?
yeah. Hey, look, there's a pop-up.
Oh, look, 73 ads on one page.
According to a short video posted on Weibo.
The internet's gotten terrible.
Well, you were talking about it before you came on. So.
Yeah, I got some grumpy.
Yeah, I can't bring up the video. I'm sorry.
All right, well, whatever. The picture is very cute. I think there's the picture of the guy, I guess, whatever that is. I don't know where you'd put 160 CPUs. You definitely took them out of the boxes, though.
He's probably very slim, and so he's kind of chunky here and here and here and here. So, but you would think a chip would chafe.
Well,
You
you put
know?
it pin side out.
Oh, yeah, but then your pins get broken. So I'm sure they were in something keeping the pins safe, right?
You have X570
I
motherboards.
like this guy. He's like, welcome to the COVID screening place.
Oh, yep. I scanned you with my radar gun. That's accurate. You're clean.
Bloop.
Unless you're keystering, you are not truly committed to smuggling.
Keystering.
Classy. What prison wallet?
Yeah. That was the thing about Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
1? 2?
2.
Like, they said prison wallet like 19 times.
And they had the kid from the
They had
Wilder
the kid
people
doing
say it.
Yeah. Like, dude,
Let's see, Rob. Chris, you wanted to talk about Hidden Door?
I did.
I think you shared that one.
Oh, yeah. So Hillary Mason's a brilliant technologist, right? And so they're doing this narrative game platform, and there was sort of a news cycle about it. And I was like, these sorts of AI driven NPCs and characters and quests are really interesting to me. That said, it's still games, so it's going to be a disaster, but
It looked to me like this is like having a budget DM. For like your game, and that could actually be fun, right? You don't have to make one of your poor friends, sorry, Rob and Cliff, be the DM for the night. They get to play with the game. Maybe the story is 20% as good, but nobody has to sit behind the DM screen and be accused of cheating all night.
Yeah.
I don't mind DMing. I kind of like it.
Yeah. I
Well,
just think, in the end, I think it'll be interesting. But if there's any market worse than games, because games has got to be a hit, you have to get a certain level of spending. There's a worse market than gaming though, and that's gaming development tools. That is a thankless, moneyless proposition.
well,
So,
I suppose, yeah, that's
so
actually right, because you could have something like this generate for you dozens of encounters and kind of just pick and choose.
yeah, but you can do that right now with like Markov chains and NLTK and Python and all the rest. It's like one of the things that Rob and I have talked about is taking, Rob's voluminous work on the backstory and feeding individual characters through to build conversation models just for chit chat, for inside the game. But it's actually a lot of work, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
haven't done it yet. So
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that. Well, but this is the same thing as we were talking about with deepfakes, right? Deepfakes are getting easier every day.
sure,
5-10 years
yeah.
from now, this is just going to be something that you can plug in. Like, give me,
This
20
is a
pages of.
startup. They want to be paid for it, though, Rob.
Yeah.
And I can't look at a $25 game or $29 game, whatever the hell we end up pricing it at, and say, wow, I need to take 50 cents a month to some startup for using this per character. It's like, it's just not worth it.
No, you gotta get
know?
away's proof of concept. Let them
And
pay
there's
that
only
cost.
so many Fortnites. You know what I mean? It's like,
That's true. We had I watched Hereditary this weekend because Rob mentioned it last time, and it's really good. I liked it.
what's
Uh,
Hereditary?
That's an older horror movie.
Is it in the taco zone?
I did not, and I was just
Ah,
I'm at the part where we try to mention movies so we have things to watch. But Rob, you should watch Fresh.
I already have.
Oh, okay. Do you have any feelings on it?
I kind of liked it.
Eh. I also liked it, but I didn't read anything about it except to not have any spoilers going into it. So when its spoilery thing starts happening, I was just like, my jaw was on the floor.
Well, if you watch the trailer, you kind of figure out
I
what the
didn't.
deal is.
I just read somewhere that it was worth watching from somebody that I respected, and so I did,
Mhm.
and it was very fun to watch that story unravel without knowing anything. So I recommend it to you guys.
Yeah.
Anything
I'm
else?
still enjoying Winning Time.
I've
though,
got
this
the
Are you
new
last-
liking it?
episode.
I'm
It's
just not a
so
sports
good.
person. I love Adam McKay. He's brilliant.
It's
but-
so good. I'm saving
Yeah.
that show actually to watch on the exercise machine today, because that's a really good fast-paced show that I think will work really well for being on a machine. That show is so weirdly edited.
What exercise machine are you using? Is it a basketball exercise machine?
It's an elliptical.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
But if you're going to spend 45 minutes on an elliptical machine, it helps to have a TV show that you want to
Sure does.
watch. And that show is good for that. I think it'll be it's fast paced. It's edited really well. They do so many weird editing things. I would actually be curious. Like, did they shoot anything on real film, and are they editing it? Or is that all done in post production? And they do a lot of really weird things where you have shots clearly taken in a different take, but overlapped with dialogue, like from a different sequence. Like, weird choices, and it's really cool. And John C. Reilly, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
That might be the coolest thing that I'm watching right now. Unlike
Trying to think
Rob,
of what else I've been watching.
I'm enjoying Picard.
But how?
Yeah, come on, dude. I know you like shitty things.
I like time travel stories.
but Picard is so terrible.
Yeah,
No.
you do know that Rob and I are not on opiates currently, right? Right, Maldo?
I mean, I'm not on anything. I enjoyed the story. I'm having fun.
You're enjoying it? Is it because it's like aggressively time travel right now, and so it's making you all happy?
Okay,
dancing?
so in episode 1, the characters generally liked each other, which is a big bonus for me in a TV
and a first
show.
for Picard.
Yeah, and because everybody in Picard was grumpy and angry in the first season,
and murderous.
Yep. In the second episode, you got to see a mirror universe, which is fun for exactly one episode. Give me one episode of mirror universe and get me out fine. Star Trek staple, no problem. Now we got to go back in time, and there was some hijinks in there that I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy all of the sequences, but I thought by and large they were great.
Have they tried to mix Picard with like the other Star Treks through editing tricks yet?
I wonder what they'll cross over. It
You
feels
know,
like
the
they
Deep
should.
Space Nine episode where they went back.
But the trouble with tribbles.
Did they bring Tribbles back yet? I'm wondering, like, what's their Dalek and Cybermen in Picard that we're just gonna be like,
I mean, it's literally everything.
it's
like,
Section 31, it's time travel,
It's
it's
every
It's the-
single thing.
It's the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, the Borg Queen. Ah. Well, we all watch Red Letter Media. You saw their prediction that the Borg Queen is Picard's mother.
Yeah. Well, there's
Just
only
if
like
that
3 or
turns out
4.
to be true, I'm buying that guy a laptop or something. I
It
don't
can
know.
all. So here's the farther out swing. It's Allison Pill. Because
Yeah,
she
that'd be
merged
very-
she merged with the Queen in the most recent episode to like have a conversation. So that's
because you know the Borg Queen is pretty much the most powerful intellect in the universe. But as long as Picard is there reminding her to remember herself, she can go toe to toe with the Borg Queen. Just absolute garbage, Rob Malta.
Sure.
Why in the hell are you watching that?
What's wrong with you, Malta?
Look, man, the Borg
Is this
Queen.
a cry for help?
The Borg
Do you need a
Queen
hug?
used to be a Borg Queen. Now she's just like the top half of a lady with some tentacle arms. She's not at her full strength.
She's like a Borg
Oh
regent.
my god.
She's like a Borg stump.
consort.
Everyone listening, don't listen to Rob Malta.
He's
Picard
got
is
terrible
awful.
taste.
There's nothing
Terrible.
about Picard that is worth watching. It is awful. I've literally given up. I'm not watching any more of it
Me either.
because it sucks so hard.
All right.
Rob Malta could say
That's
it's all about, Picard has opened up an ice cream shop in the past and he just gives people extra sprinkles.
No, it's a
and
vineyard.
that's-
It's a vineyard. He
Yeah.
gives you wine flavored ice cream.
And Q, oh,
Ugh. Doesn't he have a BronyCon to go screw up?
Yeah, he's got to go mess up the last BronyCon. Well, I'm gonna watch the next episode and enjoy it, and I don't care what you think, unless the
Well,
episode
I look
sucks.
forward to your report.
The episode might suck.
Heaping abuse on you.
I don't care. You guys do remember that I spent like 14 years being called horrible things on the internet on an hour
And
and a
you miss
minutely
it.
basis, and I don't care anymore.
You might
Me-
miss it a little.
me too, but I still have enough dignity not to watch Picard.
That's true. That's true. You're wiser than I. All right, gentlemen, let's say goodbye.
Wow. Thank you for talking to me.
Hey, Cliff, nice to see you.
Ms. Marvel brings me in every time.
Right? Summon you in. And goodbye, Christabona.
Bye.
And Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
And I was Rob Commander Taco Malda. We will see you maybe Friday. Bye.